Let's talk about the world of amateur sports. But, not the action on the field itself. We're going to talk about the unsung hero of every single event, the game day production. For so many schools, this means just wrestling with the audio, the announcements, the music, just trying to create that perfect atmosphere. So let's break down the common challenges and take a look at a whole new way to manage the sound of your game day.
Okay, I want you to think about your last home game. All that energy, the crowd, the action. Now think about the sound system. I have a feeling that what's coming up on this next slide might just hit a little too close to home.
You know these moments, right? The incredible touchdown happens, and it's followed by just crickets. Or you see a volunteer frantically digging through their phone, trying to find the right song, and then, oops, they play something totally out of place. And maybe the worst one, those crucial sponsor mentions that just vanish in the heat of the moment. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's a super common story.
And all of this really boils down to what we call the game day scramble. It's that feeling of frantic improvisation, of just trying to keep up. And for so many athletic departments, that's just the reality of game day.
And look, it's not for a lack of trying, right? You've got dedicated volunteers, you've got amazing staff, but they're often working with tools that were just never built for the job. A personal phone and a Spotify playlist, they were never designed to run a dynamic live sporting event.
And this scramble, it has some very real consequences. As you can see, it really impacts everyone. The fan experience takes a hit, it creates an atmosphere that just doesn't match the effort your athletes are putting in. And crucially, sponsors aren't getting what they paid for, and your amazing volunteers are left feeling stressed out instead of empowered.
But what if there was a way to go from all that chaos to, complete control? That's the whole idea behind a platform called GameCraft, and it's what we're going to break down right now.
So, what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, GameCraft is a dedicated production platform. Its entire reason for being is to bring a professional, predictable structure to all the audio parts of your event, from the very first announcement all the way to that final buzzer.
Now let's be super clear here. This is not just another soundboard app you download. No, it's a purpose-built system, designed specifically for the unique flow of a sporting event, and it's ready to be run by your volunteers from a simple tablet or laptop.
So, how does it actually work? Well, let's start with the heart of the operation, the digital soundboard. Think of this as the command center for every single sound you hear in the stadium.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's just compare the old way to the new way. With a phone, you have to scramble to hit pause on the music to make an announcement. With GameCraft, the music automatically ducks, it just lowers in volume on its own. Instead of trying to awkwardly fade between songs, you get a smooth automatic rotation. And look at these last two. Roster-based announcements and integrated sponsor reads, those just aren't even possible with the old method.
Let's make this feel real for a second. Picture this, your hockey team scores a massive goal. Instead of fumbling around, your operator follows these really simple steps. First, they arm the goal trigger beforehand. The second that puck crosses the line, they hit one giant button, and bam! Immediately the goal horn blasts, your designated goal song kicks in, and the system automatically cues up an announcement for the specific player who scored. It turns a super high-pressure moment into a simple, professional-sounding sequence.
Now that's the in-game action, which is cool. But let's look at one of the most powerful parts of this whole system, how it handles that critical revenue stream from your sponsors.
Think about all those natural pauses in a game, right? Halftime in football, the resurfacing break in hockey. These are predictable windows, and they're absolutely perfect for sponsor messages. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 mentions here. We're talking about a potential 8 to 16 high-quality reads per game, just in those breaks alone.
And as this chart shows, it's not just halftime. The opportunities are spread throughout the entire event. You've got pregame, music breaks, lineup intros, postgame. You can build a truly structured sponsorship package that provides value all night long, not just in 1 or 2 spots.
Okay, so how do you manage all this without someone pulling their hair out? Well, GameCraft uses something called sponsor rotation pools. You just load in all your sponsor ads and the system automatically rotates through them during those designated breaks. This makes sure every single partner gets fair, balanced airtime and your operator never has to wonder, who's next on the list? It just happens.
Now, if you're an athletic director, you might be thinking, this automation sounds great, but I need control, I need security. You absolutely can't have a volunteer accidentally changing a sponsorship deal or messing up the official playlist.
And that is handled with 2 very distinct roles. First, there's the facility administrator. That's you. You set everything up behind the scenes, the sponsors, the playlists, all the rules.
Then there's the game operator. That's your volunteer or student. They get a much simpler interface, they can trigger goals, they can play music, but they absolutely cannot change any of the core settings or mess with the sponsor configurations.
This level of control goes even deeper. As the administrator, you can actually lock key sponsorship segments. What this means is the pregame reads, the halftime sponsor rotations, they are literally baked into the event's flow. Your operator can't skip them. This is how you guarantee that your contractual obligations to your sponsors are met every single game.
So, when you put all of this together, the structured audio, the automated sponsorships, the administrative control, what you get is a completely new, totally transformed game day experience.
And the impact? Well, you can see it right here. It's felt across the board. Fan engagement goes way up, the athlete experience feels more professional, like they're on a bigger stage, and just as important, that operator stress, it plummets. You're empowering your volunteers to run a fantastic show with confidence, not anxiety.
You know, ultimately it all comes down to this. This is about way more than just software. It's about elevating your entire athletic program. It's about delivering an experience that truly reflects the pride you have in your school, in your athletes, and in your community.
So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. As you're planning for the future of your athletic programs, just imagine, how professional could your next season actually sound? What would it mean to finally trade in that game day scramble for a seamless, structured, and powerful production?